Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadowwraith, and today I'm going to be talking about how to think competitively. Now by that, I mean you've got an event coming up, what do you have to do? So this is before the event and during. So what kind of mindset do you have to be in, or what do you have to think about? Things like that, things you should worry about. Now, talking about worrying things, I thought I'd chuck it out there for those of you who are listening or watching. Would you prefer, in my videos, if I got myself a webcam so you can see my absolutely lovely gorgeous face whilst I'm talking? That's just something, because that's something I'm thinking about getting, and I just wanted people's opinions. So if you could be kind enough to drop a comment in the section below saying yay or nay, we want to see your lovely face, or please don't hide it from the world, I'd love to know. Moving on, jumping straight in, we have got the number one thing on my list, and funnily enough, it is your list. Now, with the list, you need to know how to build a competitive list. How do you know the ways of the competitive list? Well, I, luckily for you, did a video on how to do a competitive list. So I will leave a link in the description down below for that if you want to watch it. If not, you will find loads of answers on the internet or your fellow hobbyists. Go and ask. But the brief overview is you want to play towards the scenarios. So if you know the scenarios, you want a list that will play towards them. If you need more models to hold objectives, do it. If you need to be fast, get fast models. If you need a super tough hero, super tough hero. But if you don't need to worry about that, don't worry about it. And always bring a banner. Always bring a banner. So that's the pretty much, super quick guide how to do a competitive list. Make sure it's balanced. So yeah, the list, easy peasy. So make sure you've got your list. On top of that, you need to know how to play your list. So what playstyle is that list? Is it going to be a horde list? Or is it going to be a shooty list? Things like that. And then you need to know how to play it. If you can't play a shooty list and you just keep chucking stuff into combat, don't run a shooty list. It sounds stupid, but people do it. People do it. The amount of times I've gone to an event, or even these are more smaller events, so local events, and nothing against gamer, they're there to have fun. So am I. I get it, absolutely get it. But it does hurt me inside when they're chucking their Haradrim warriors with bows into my ghosts. And they've been moving forward the whole game. It's like, you should have sat back and shot me. Oh, there's no point in your defense. Yes, but you're a shooty army. Shoot me. There is a chance you will kill my models. A much higher chance if you do it from range, because I'll be able to kill you back if I win the fight. So there, that's it. Know your playstyle list and then work towards it. The next thing, this is for when you're in-game. And it's quite simple really. It's a thing that I've only just not too long ago learned to do. It is to pause and think. So when I say pause and think, I mean don't get wrapped up oh god, I'm in a tournament, I need to rush, I don't want to keep my opponent waiting. No, wrong. If you're pausing for 20 minutes, yes, you've got a problem. But if you're pausing for a minute to have a look and, focus on how the game's going and what's going wrong and what's going right and how to rectify what's going wrong, you will do so much better. And you will not miss things as often. The amount of times you'll miss that one cavalry model that you almost forgot to move, or that one charge that you can do, or the silly mistake your opponent did by leaving his hero open for a trap. Things like that. Also, when you're running combats and you've got priority, just have a quick pause, scout the board, and be like, I'll do that one first because you'll be trapped. I'll do that one next because you'll be trapped. Because if you just go, we'll go from left to right, the amount of times you'll free up your opponent from being trapped when they would have been trapped will be quite a lot. And it also goes the other way. If you're trapped in one, look at ways to get him out of being trapped. So if you do the combat next to him, I can now make way with that friendly model, so I'm no longer trapped in that fight. Perfect. So pauses are essential. Number 3, it is to pre-plan, or play the long game, / play 3 moves ahead, all that good stuff. Do not charge because there's an opportunity to charge and go off reaction only. Because a lot of people do play off reaction only. I'm going to do this. Oh, my enemy did that, so I'm going to do this. No. You want to know that if I move my troops forward, he's probably going to be tempted to charge those troops, which means my King Alisar can get into combat, which means he can then heroic combat into his leader, into that troll, into that thing I want to fight, things like that. So you're setting up things for later on in the game. You can also slingshot yourself onto objectives, and it's not only like heroic combats, it's things like tempting your opponents into traps, or there's a multitude of different things if you pre-plan. And if you're setting things up, if you're running the game because of your plans, you'll 9 times out of 10 win the game, because you're fighting the fights you want. Because if you know you can pin down that one elf with 2 guys with spear supports, there's a higher chance of you rolling higher than they will. Things like that. So pre-planning is essential, especially with your heroes, because if you just chuck them into combat because you want to kill stuff, just have a backup plan, because if they don't roll a 6, are they going to die? Maybe. Don't throw them in there then. Or have a safety net, i.e. maybe a spear support, and try and get another hero in or another couple of models in on that model just to ensure it. So, yeah, pre-planning is absolutely essential in this game, because it is a strategy game after all. And don't be afraid to try and flank your opponent and things like that. Old military, ancient military tactics do work in this game. Pincer maneuvers, hammer and anvil. I use the hammer and anvil most often. Have a solid line of troops, usually half trolls or something like that, to take the brunt of the enemy and get your cavalry to swing round and hit them in the side. Perfect. That's a very basic hammer and anvil. Pincer, if you're really, really smart, you can go all Hannibal at the Battle of Cannae and encircle your enemy by tempting them to charge something in the centre and then slowly moving back or something like that. You can do all sorts of bonkers things, but it's all down to pre-planning. So always think where you're going to be in 2 or 3 turns ahead. And the other thing, so we are on number 4, spacing or placing. Either way, spacing or placing. If you've got buffs in your army, then this should be a given. You need to know what the range of your buffs are, or spells, and you need to make sure you are maximising on that. So the Betrayer's got his 6-inch buff of you get to reroll all failed wounds with poisoned weapons. I'm going to try and maximise as much as that as I can. And it has come down to it where I needed a heroic move with the Betrayer, so I need to plan ahead, because he has to move first, where he's going to be and where my other models are going to be after they move, to maximise off that. So, yeah, it's all down to placing. And then the banners, absolutely, the banners. You need to maximise how many people are affected by the banner. If you don't maximise, then you're wasting potential there. But on top of that, what's more important than that is where do you need the banner more? If you've only got a couple of chaff warriors in combat with something that's probably going to kill them anyway, don't stick them there. Stick them towards the right flank, where you've got more of a chance, where you've got your more elite troops with more attacks going into his troops. Things like that. Try and get a hero, or as many heroes, combat heroes, in on that banner, because a hero is worth more with a banner than a few warriors are, in my opinion, especially if you're going to heroic combat or do something nuts with that. So I'd rather have, say, Gil-galad in range of my banner than 3 extra high elf warriors, because Gil-galad is going to do a hell of a lot more damage than 3 high elf warriors on average. Obviously they can all roll 6s to wound and all kill 3 people, but Gil-galad can do that, or 4 people if he's on a horse. So do you see what I mean with that? Spacing. And the last point to this video, number 5, probably the most important. The list maybe is more important, who knows, but I don't know. I think this is the most important. I call it macro, not micro. And what that means, pretty simple. Don't micromanage your army too much. Don't get tunnel vision. All because Aragorn's been charged by their leader. Don't suddenly lose all focus, because people do. I've done it. A lot of people have, where they lose all focus and they're focusing on that. How do I get Aragorn out of that situation? Or what can go wrong there? Or is he going to die? All that scary stuff. Which is absolutely fine. I get it. I get why people do it. Or if you're having a good fight over an objective, which is really close, and you micromanage on that, or you get tunnel vision and you're staring at that and you're thinking how to deal with that. Cool. Yeah, have a think on how to deal with that. But before you do that, have a pause. Number 2, have a look around and see what you need to be doing first. Because once your whole other army is in place, then you can get tunnel vision quickly and focus on that and deal with that. So yeah, I only put it in here because these are points I've asked a few people what they thought good points were, and these are the ones they've given me. And obviously, I've picked the ones I like as well, which I think are very important. So, thank you ever so much for listening. Those were my 5 points on how to think competitively like a champion. If you agree with them, please let me know. But if you think I've missed anything on this list, please also let me know in the comment section down below. Failing that, in the description down below, there will be a link to my Discord server, which you can join and talk to me and other people about Middle-earth strategy battle game, or any other games, really. And you can organise tabletop simulator games at this present time. That's all we've got available to us. But who knows, if you live close to some people, you might be able to organise a real game, which will be fantastic. It's always good to meet new people and discuss new things. I've learnt new things of people from this Discord server. Maybe you will too. Anyway, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.